Hello everyone, Time to Grind here, and today I wanted to talk about Crucible. And Crucible got announced out of nowhere, and I was really hopeful that it would be something like Apex Legends, where the game gets announced when it's pretty much already polished and super great, and it just wows people with how amazing it is. And especially since it was Amazon Game Studios' first game that they are publishing, I really thought it was going to be something special, and it seemed like there was a lot of hype around it. However, the game just feels like a very rushed early access game, and I will give a full disclaimer that Amazon Game Studios did give me early access to the game along with a founder's pack of the official game, and I tell you this, one, because I like staying super transparent with you all, and two, I just want to show that I promise, even when I get free stuff like games and, founder's packs and early access to games, I try not to let it affect my reviews and, let this be an example. And if I get blacklisted from some companies or something like that, then that's on them and they should just make good games in the first place. But either way, let's just jump into the review and discuss why I think the game falls short. And I have several big issues with the game, but at first I want to just kind of explain at a base level what the game is. So it's a free-to-play, team-based, third-person action shooter thingy, and it feels kind of like a mix of Overwatch and then a game called Paragon, which was made by Epic Games before they made Fortnite and got big and, all that good stuff. But they had a game called Paragon, and this game kind of reminds me a little bit of it. And so in the game, there's three main game modes. The first game mode is called Heart of the Hives, and in it, it's a 4v4 game mode, so there's 8 players total, and you can kill enemy creatures. So not like just the enemies as in, the enemy players, but there are AI-controlled monsters all around the map, and when you kill them, they drop essence, and you can also get essence by capturing these extractors that are all around the map, and they give you essence over time. And with this essence, your team levels up, and whenever you level up, depending on your character, you get like a special perk or bonus, and eventually if you just level up enough, you get just more power and health. And every now and then a hive will spawn, and it takes a lot of time to kill, and it has its own defenses and stuff like that, and whenever it dies, it drops a heart, and the first team to capture 3 hearts win. And the next game mode is called Alpha Hunters, and it's just the same map, the same creatures, but it's a battle royale mode with 8 teams of 2, and there is no respawning in the game if you die, but if your partner dies and you find someone else that their partner died, you can call it like truce, and it pretty much puts you on the same team until, there's an odd amount of people. And I think that feature is probably one of the most original things this game has to offer, without being super harsh, but other than that, it just, it's just a battle royale with the exact same, kind of map and game feel and just everything like that. And the last game mode is a game mode called Harvester Command, and it's just a 8v8 domination game pretty much, where those extractors that were in the map, because the map is the same, you just try to hold as many extractors as you can as a team to gain points, and then the first team to get the max amount of points wins. And so right off the bat, we have 3 completely different game modes, and one of them, like I said, Heart of the Hives, seems to be at least the most fleshed out game mode, and then you have what seems to just be a tacked on battle royale game mode, and then a tacked on domination game mode. And the problem is the game has several issues beyond what I've already talked about. My first issue is that the map is always the same, and it gets not only boring to look at quick, but especially boring to play on. My second issue is that the whole gimmick of this game is that you need to not only focus on killing enemy players, but also killing those monsters and, things and the extractors and getting all of this essence, but killing enemies in this game, those enemy monsters, is so freaking boring. Most of the enemies, you just shoot a couple of times and then they die, and they don't really pose a threat. They have attacks, but most of the time you're going to kill them before they even attack a single time, and even if they were to attack, it wouldn't deal that much damage. So they don't pose a threat, they aren't fun to kill, and they just seem like someone took a bunch of random AI from Unity or something and just dropped them in the world after making the, kind of PvP game mode, because they're like, we need more things to do, the map is too big. And so the actual concept concept, though, of needing to gain this essence and level your team up with pre-selected upgrade paths is actually pretty cool. It's just not interesting at all in this game to get essence, and on top of that, most of those upgrade paths either matter very little or practically do nothing at all. At least it seems that way. One of the examples was as plain as this chick that had a grappling hook, and one of her upgrades was she turns invisible for a little bit, or at least is hidden whenever she does her grappling hook. The thing is, though, is it doesn't last like nearly at all, and I haven't played the game enough to, know balance-wise and stuff like that, but it just didn't seem to have any impact, especially for being a whole level up. I'm working through this whole game to try to, grind this essence and level up so my team can do better, but me being invisible for just a tiny bit when I'm already either escaping or initiating, it didn't seem like it was worth it for that level. My next issue with the game is a big one, and it's that the time to kill is way too long. All the enemies are extreme bullet sponges, and because of that, every single character, it just takes forever to kill them. And every character, or at least most characters, have like a movement ability. So whether it's just a normal sprint, or a teleport, or a grappling hook, as soon as you start winning a fight, a lot of the times they're just going to try to run away. And why wouldn't they? If they run, they can go heal and then continue doing other objectives. And it also takes forever to actually get in combat, because the map is so large. So in most of the game modes, you spend 4 minutes just killing brain dead, like AI controlled, monsters and collecting their essence and capturing objectives. And then you have like one fight. And if you win the fight, then you have 4 more minutes until you, find, another fight, unless you're going to the, highly contested objectives, like the big ones, like the hives or something. And if you die, you have like a really long respawn time, and then you have 4 minutes to actually find an enemy. And I think this game would be way better if the time to kill was way shorter, and then there were just more players in the game, especially in that 4v4 mode. It does not seem like there's enough players in it. And on top of that, if you could respawn super fast, because then it'd just be like this non-stop action, and yeah, you might have some, monsters here, but the main combat you're doing isn't going to be against these brain-dead AI, it's still going to be these players, and you just might have some breathing room. So if it's brain-dead AI, it's whatever. But, big thing is those AI, the monsters you're killing for essence, that needs to be improved in some way. Another issue I have with this game is that the map is giant. There's objectives scattered all over the map, yet there is not a mini-map. You can open up like a full screen map that covers most things, and it's kind of hard to see where you're going when you have the map out. And on top of that, the map itself just does not seem very well. It's hard at first to kind of tell where you are on the map at a glance, but the game needs a mini-map desperately, somewhere in the top left or top right of the screen, just to know where you're going, because it's so frustrating to keep opening up the map and doing this really long scan thing that takes forever to do. It needs a mini-map desperately. On top of that, the game just feels clunky and a tad unoptimized. I have a, decent computer, so, it wasn't that bad for me, but it just felt clunky. And on top of that, I've heard that, depending on some people's specs, the game is, decently unoptimized. And just in general, it seems so unpolished in terms of how it looks and how it sounds. The textures, the music is almost non-existent at parts. It seems very uncooked and unfinished. And the one saving grace of this game is the characters, but not their abilities. So just the characters themselves and the way they look and their designs and their voice acting is actually really awesome, and it seems like there's a lot of love that's been put into these characters, and they all have their own personalities, but most of their abilities just fall flat. And in hero shooters, the abilities of the heroes make or break a game, at least in my opinion. And in a game like Overwatch, also in my opinion, the hero abilities are super well made and, thought out, and normally all complement each other and complement what the, character's theme is and stuff like that. And it's one of the best parts about Overwatch to me is the, full-on character design, the abilities and all. And in Crucible, you have these awesome looking and sounding characters, and then they just feel like they have tacked on abilities that don't really have much cohesion. And the thing is if this game just was released in early access, or it was being called a beta, I still wouldn't have the best things to say about it, but it would have been understandable. It would have been okay, it still needs more time in the oven, but they want to get player feedback and stuff like this. However, the game is supposedly fully out, and it's being published by Amazon Game Studios, and Amazon, it's not a very small company. And I mean, there is a battle pass in the game already, even though it calls itself like a pre-battle pass. There's $10 skins in the game. There's like $20 bundles. I mean, the cosmetics in the game look nicer than the game itself, and there's more variety in the cosmetics than there is variety in the game. And so Crucible is nowhere near what it needed to be successful as a fully launched game, in my opinion. If the game keeps getting worked on, and my constructive criticism would be that the time to kill needs to be lowered way down. There needs to be way more players in the game, or the map needs to get a lot smaller. You need to be revived faster and get in the game, faster. You need to completely rework most of the abilities on the characters and make them more well-rounded, because, I mean, in my opinion, quality is better than quantity. I would rather have every character just have 2 or 3 really nice, good abilities than have like 6 mediocre ones on each character. I think you also need a mini-map in the game and voice and text chat, because there's not voice and text chat in this game, even though it is a super huge communication-based game. And the game just needs a lot more time in the oven in terms of being polished. And I understand game development is infinitely harder than I am making it out to be. They can't just like smash the keyboard a couple times and a day later all that will change. But in my opinion, those are the things, all of those things that need to be changed for the game to actually be fun and a quality game. And if you have played Crucible, or just from watching gameplay, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on the game. Let me know in the comments down below. I love talking with you guys. I try to respond to every single one of you guys. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. I put out about 2 game reviews a week on just a wide variety of games, so definitely subscribe to see more of that in the future. And if you guys are having a great day today, I hope you continue having a great day. If you guys aren't having a great day, I hope you guys start having a great day. But either way, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. See you guys next time.